There's already one review of that one on Autogefühl with a diesel. We are linking that one in the video description. And this time we got here the color of Java brown, and also we got the new petrol engine. It's the T5, 245 horsepower, and Volvo is setting all sails on 4-cylinder engines to reduce the CO2 emission but still have a nice power output. And I think this works pretty well with this petrol engine. It does consume more fuel than the diesel one, okay, but we're talking about that later. First, let me tell you something about in general about this car. The XC60 is so successful for Volvo. In Germany it's the most selling Volvo, and also worldwide. This is a true success story. It's not the newest car now, but still I can just recommend it. It's one of my favorite cars, one of my favorite SUVs. It's still a compact SUV, so to say, because there's also the newer, bigger XC90, which is coming all new now above it. But still, it is one of the biggest compact SUVs, and that might be a crucial factor for buying it or buying it not. So, let's take a detailed look right now. Starting with the front and the headlights, well, they are kind of shaped dynamically, but not too much. So I think this car is now very modern right now, and still in 10 years it will still be modern. This is kind of a timeless design in my opinion, which makes it very attractive. So you can also buy non-facelift XC60s, no problem, they still look good. And now even a little bit better since the facelift has been out a couple of years ago. So I think this color, well, brown is not my favorite. It would be rather blue or maybe white. But I think the combination to the seats inside, we'll soon see them, is very nice. The side profile is dominated by the rear ending, which kind of has a round form here. It's very beautiful. There's also a version, especially when you take some special editions, where the chrome is up here. That's even more beautiful. And then the rear is the most special part of the car. We see it here from the side because this is very unique and also defines the Volvo SUV language. We're also looking forward to the new smaller Volvo SUV, and I think it will have something like that also in the rear, and it will be very interesting to have an all-new smaller Volvo SUV. So far we only have this one, and it almost comes close to the full-size SUV for its length. So if you want a smaller compact SUV, that's not the right choice for you, but it also offers a lot of space on the inside, of course, because it is so long. And that leads us to the trunk. We got an electric opening here, very comfortable. And this is the rear test. We are just coming from the Paris Motor Show, and we got all our luggage in here. And it fits pretty well. It's also a very low loading still, and you have no problem here putting all your stuff in. Very easy access. Well, you see I have to bow down a little bit, but that's quite okay, I think, in this case. And you see it here, a lot of space. Even if you're traveling with like 4 adults, it will be no problem for your holiday. And that's one big advantage of this very long SUV. You got just more trunk. So if you got a lot of luggage, that will be the right pick for you. And then we can close it again electrically. Welcome to our short interior check. I really love the Volvo seats. I think they are the most comfortable on the market right now because they have this special shape. They look like a human is supposed to fit in there. So I would describe it, especially also with the headrests. They are quite unique. I think they're the only headrests on the market that can actually really support your head. I mean, that would be a normal driving position here now. And if I just lean back a little bit, my head is supported here. And most of the usual headrests, they do not offer that. They are like pretty far away, and that's also relevant in a crash situation, for example. If the headrest is rather here in the front, it's also better when you go in the front and then are pushed back. it's also safer with that one. And safety has always been a major subject with Volvo, and it's also the case here because we got very good assistance systems that are working pretty well. We got also a front collision assist, for example. We got some red lights flashing up, almost like a head-up display as a warning. And we also got this, that's serial in all Volvo, this city emergency braking. So if someone just brakes in front of you and you're not paying so much attention, there's always this safety mechanism, because maybe you take a bottle here from the holders, very practical by the way, and then do not pay too much attention, then you got this safety mechanism. Yeah, about the holders here, they are very practically because they got some rubber here inside, so smaller and also bigger bottles fit in here. And at both door sides we can stuff something in, and here also in the middle part, it's also possible. You can also put a very large bottle in here, for example, and it also doesn't disturb your arm even if you leave this one open while driving. Everything is very well attached. That's just premium, I must say. And well, it doesn't always have to be leather, even in the premium segment. For example, look here, that's plastic. It's a little bit soft, not too hard plastic, but it's just a very great surface. It's kind of like a chaos surface, but it looks very good. It's nice structure. So this adds to this quality feeling here. It's not just this plain black plastic structure. And my favorite is always when wood is used. And that's here in the middle console. I think one of the most beautiful aspects here of the Volvos, because you got this swing form and it is so clean, so elegant at the same time. And you see, you know, the single parts of this piece of wood, and that's very beautiful. Some of you have asked me what do I think about the current multimedia system from Volvo. We've seen the new one in the XC90. Please check our new XC90 video as well. You got this iPad in the middle console, but here I was first thinking, okay, well, so many buttons, it's not too beautiful. Do I really need? No one dials a number today, right? You connect it via Bluetooth, your mobile phone, and then you go to last calls or whatever. But then I realized it's quite good if you use your phone book and then just need the starting letter of a name. Then you can press, for example, one time on this M and O button for M, or two times for the N, and then maybe this exact name starting with the letter is popping up. And that was quite practically, because meanwhile my phone book is like maybe with 300 or 400 names or something like that, and when I just scroll them through, I am getting crazy. And that is kind of like a good solution where you can say, okay, it's still some use to have these kind of buttons. But these buttons, I think they are not too premium, especially when the car gets old. They get a little bit shabby, but all other buttons are quite nicely done. In the new Ocean Race Special Edition, by the way, this one is also not out of rubber, but has also this aluminium look. It's still plastic, okay, but very durable, and this one looks even better. We don't have that one in here now. But there are also other solutions, so you should know that. This here, by the way, is ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. It works flawless. It doesn't always have to be a DSG, dual clutch transmission. This is a standard automatic version, but as it's 8-speed, it works perfect. Also connected to this new petrol engine here, 245 horsepower, 4-cylinder, finally with the 8-speed transmission. There's still the older petrol engine available as well, but that one has only the 6-speed transmission and consumes more fuel. This one is just front-wheel driven, so we don't have the all-wheel drive here. 245 horsepower might be a bit too much just for the front axle, but it still works. If you're pushing it really and then turning, then you get a little bit wheel spin, but it's all electronically controlled. So I can also recommend this petrol engine if you want to go for a petrol engine. There are also the diesels available, which are better in my opinion, but maybe you are living in a country where the petrol engine is more interesting, and so we can just take a small look under the hood now. Nowadays you cannot really see much under the bonnet, but what is always a nice test is First of all, how to open it? Well, it's not in the middle part here, it's on the right side, and you have to push it left, then it works. And we always, that's one of our Autogefühl tests, we always laugh when the hood has these hydraulic dampers. For example, well, some of the Mercedes don't have it, even like this Sirocco doesn't have it, but most other Volkswagen have it nowadays. Because otherwise it's very heavy to put it up and then put the holder here, and so it's very nice with the hydraulic dampers. Well, about the petrol engine, I think it's not too beautiful to see this plastic cover here, but at least we got a shiny logo. And well, there isn't too much to see here, but you ask us always to show you how it really looks beneath the bonnet, so that's done here as well. For example, here that is also quite massive, for example, and very important because when you're driving very slowly, you actually do not want to hear the engine, and that is ensured also by this one. You maybe wonder what this one is here, this shiny black element. And also, if you look at the new Mercedes S-Class, it is very prominent here in the center grille. Here it's a little bit at the side, and it's the sensors are behind it for the adaptive cruise control. So the vehicle can see which car is in front of you and then regulate the speed. And in my opinion, the adaptive cruise control here in the Volvos is the best on the market right now. First Volvo, and then second place is the Distronic Plus from Mercedes. Because this one really works flawlessly, also when overtaking, no problem, and it really breaks down until you can stop. So if there's maybe a traffic jam in front of you, some of the adaptive cruise controls, they just like regulate it on the motorway, and then if you're driving at some slower speed, it suddenly breaks off and says, oh, now you have to overtake, and that's so dangerous in my opinion. So either you have this classic cruise control where you put the speed and then hold the speed, but you know you have to brake yourself. Or you have this Volvo solution or Mercedes Distronic Plus, where you know, okay, I can trust the system, it does work automatically and it brakes the car down no matter what. But this solution in between, with like Mitsubishi, Nissan, also Audi has, I think that's very dangerous. And so in this case, from this adaptive cruise control, I really trust Volvo. I really love this bright interior here, ceiling as well as the seats. You have to watch out when these leather seats get a little bit older. They might gather some black color, but still I think it's worth it. Everyone knows the black leather seats are usually more durable, but these ones are just so bright, so shiny. It makes also like a very spacious feeling here, sitting in the back. We got the nice and large panoramic roof here, and still you always know if a panoramic roof is included, you lose headroom. But still, it's way enough here for me, and I'm quite tall, you know, so that's very good. Also enough legroom, and I think just the back seating position is very relaxing. So this, for example, here I can show you as well. Also for cup holders here in the back, and you can put your stuff here. Maybe if your children in the back want to draw something while driving, you could put stuff in here, for example. But even two grown adults have no problem here sitting in the back, and that's also one of the advantages, that this one is kind of the largest of the compact SUVs. Being in a city or on some narrow country roads, the engine is very promising, because it gives you a certain feeling of dynamic riding. That's always the case for the most petrol engines, because you got the instant torque. You don't have to wait, like with the turbo deals you often have to wait like just a small second that the turbo sets in. But here it works pretty well just from the beginning on, and I've already told you, when you're pushing the throttle and turning the steering wheel at the same time, you might always feel that the front wheels get a little bit spin, because there's so much power already, so much torque on the front wheels. So that's way enough. And one problem of this bigger petrol engine, even though it's a 4-cylinder now, is of course the consumption. It says 12 now. I think that's a little bit too much. I'm not sure how that comes, because I've tested this engine also a little bit longer, like some time ago, and I was like 10 liters. Maybe if you really want to have fun, goes a little bit more up. well, if you consider that some old V8 natural aspirated petrol engines also use sometimes 10 or 11 liters, well, what can you say about it? I'm not the biggest fan of the new small petrol engines because there's not so much difference. But still, if you want to have low consumption, it is possible with that engine. It really matters how you push the throttle, and if you don't drive too much kilometers per year, maybe if you ride like 10,000 kilometers a year, it will make no difference using the petrol or the diesel engine. Maybe even the petrol engine is still cheaper then, because for example here in Germany you got higher taxes, higher insurance for the diesel, and also the price difference between petrol and diesel diminished over the last couple of years. So, but it's a personal decision, I think, if you put it petrol or diesel. Now here on the motorway, we also got power when we're like going from 80 to 100. That's also quite relaxing. And now also one advantage is, even though modern diesels usually don't sound that bad anymore, but still we got a very, very silent riding comfort here. I can't hear the engine here now. It's just some wind noises, but still we can just talk very calmly here. That's also one of these advantages. This car is so relaxing, and it's sometimes a little bit dangerous because when you're going like 120, it feels like just going 70 or 80. So you always have to look the speed limit, that you don't drive too fast. But if you set in the automatic adaptive cruise control, which I really trust with every heartbeat, that's okay. Some people say you shouldn't trust in the machine that much, but sometimes even when there's, for example, limited visibility, maybe the machine can do it better than yourself. So that's also something we can discuss about, but I think it's a very nice system and you can really trust that one, because you always feel that it reacts quite fast. And some other systems, I had some bad experience with it because it's not really reacting fast enough, and then you rather feel like taking a break yourself. What else is there to say when driving, especially now we're on the motorway? Of course, about the suspension, and it's just superb. You're in a higher SUV, yes, you got this high, very relaxing, comfortable seating position, but you don't feel like you're swimming on the road. So it's, well, the often called compromise between still comfort and having, not a sporty attitude, but I must say it's not too soft. So it's a very good compromise they found here. Doesn't matter if they are like longer bumps on the road or just small holes. I think it can't be done better. Maybe I think the Audi suspension are world leading right now, but this one comes quite close to it. I really like it. So on these all factors together, I think make out a very good car. Maybe we take one small look at the multimedia system, that you have seen it as well if you don't know it from Volvo yet. We can see it here in the front. That's not a touchscreen, but I think it's not a problem. You don't always need a touchscreen, because this is also quite intuitive, because you can control it here with going right or left. For example, you now zoom in, and then there's just OK and exit. And that's a pretty simple system, because when I go to exit here now, I, for example, can go to the radio or also connect my Bluetooth telephone and just press OK. And that's kind of it, and everything works in this kind of system, and I think everyone understands that, and that's also a big advantage of this one. You don't really need time to figure out what is what. For example, here for winter situation we also got heated steering wheel. I think it's good that it's at the separate buttons. Some functions just need to remain at separate functions and don't have to move into the multimedia system. That's quite nice. And to close our review, there's one button I haven't shown you now, which carries some small surprise. To have a better vision to the back, you maybe just look at the back right now, at the back headrests. When I push a button here in the front, attention, let the back head, look back. Look. That's a nice little feature that increases your vision to the cars which are behind you. And well, of course, no one should sit in the rear department, and otherwise they might get a little bit angry. I hope you're not angry with me. I hope you're always happy with my reviews. And I always love reading your comments and when you give us thumbs up, and I really have a lot of fun doing these reviews, not just to do the videos, but especially because we have such good feedback from you. That is really the thing that keeps us going. And so I thank you very much, and see you next time at Autogefühl. This is Thomas for you, this time with the Volvo, next time with, we'll see.